Hi Scorpio, it's Rebecca from Being Human Tarot. This month I'm bringing you a 3-card forecast in the same format that I did last month, except I'm not doing the bonus oracle draw this month, so I'll probably reinstate that in future months with different decks, different oracle decks. This month for the tarot, I'm drawing from Kim Kranz's World Unknown deck, which you probably know if you follow tarot a little bit. Beautiful deck with lots of line drawings. And here's the back of the cards, just to show you how pretty that is. This is the first edition. I think actually the backs of the cards for the second edition are a little bit different, but anyway. So in the 3-card spread, the first card stands for what you should focus on this month. The second card stands for what you should set aside for the month. And the third card stands for just an additional consideration for the month. And in your card of what to focus on this month, you drew the Father of Cups. Beautiful drawings. I feel like I haven't kind of paused enough in the readings that I've done so far to kind of just note how great these drawings are. But so the Father of Cups, or the King of Cups, if you want to use the Smith Rider-Waite designation for it, is such a strong emotional person. So this month you're being called to emulate him, which might come easier for you than maybe some of the other signs, because you are Scorpio, you're a water sign. So you're kind of like inherently a little bit more in touch with some of those like deeper emotional qualities. Not all of you, but you know, a lot of you. And he's kind of, I don't know, I feel like the King of Cups or the Father of Cups in this deck is sort of just like, that's one of my huge goals as someone who's an earth sign, to kind of like really grasp the emotional maturity that he has. He's kind of like, I have a habit of kind of switching to the Smith Rider-Waite imagery when I use different decks, and I'm trying to do that less, because it's like, what's the point? Then I should just be reading with that deck if I'm always needing to go back to it for reference. But so I'm not going to do that, or I'm going to try not to. So in this illustration, he's this beautiful black swan, and if you think of swans on a lake, they just kind of glide on by effortlessly. You don't see them furiously paddling their feet underneath, but it almost just looks like they're like sort of being pushed on ice, like nothing's going on. They're just zzz. Nothing like when a human swims and we're like splashing about and it's very obvious that we're trying to swim and get somewhere. Birds make it look so easy. And so that's kind of, it's the nature of the King of Cups, is to have, like, be doing all of the work inside, be doing all of that paddling, but, and make it kind of look easy. And like the end result is that your output is sort of this emotional maturity and love and care and respect for people that isn't easy to do, but you've done the work for. Maybe that was the painful analogy, so I apologize, but so for whatever reason in your life, this is more important this month more than ever. I think it's sort of important for all people at all times. I'm smiling because there's a window right here and a bird just flew and landed, and so it's just like, oh, birds. But it's not easy to do. In fact, it can be really hard. You know, the Father of Cups is the kind of guy where someone who knows you well, like family or partner, and comes to push all of your buttons, and they come at you with, well, it must be nice because you're like this, or, oh, I see that you did this, that must be nice to have time to do that, or, in whatever way that people push your buttons. And the Father of Cups is just like, ooh, like another duck analogy, just like sort of like how water will bead and roll off their feathers, right? They're not absorbing any of that. They're like, okay, I hear you, I see you, your feelings matter, but I'm not going to let this consume me because I know who I am and I respect who I am, and I'm going to not only love others in, the best way, but I'm going to love myself in the best way. So I'm not going to guess as to what particular thing is happening in your life that makes this important for you this month, but it is. So just pay attention to it. Try not to... I tend to think of romantic relationships in particular when it's a cup sign. So if it's with a partner, try to think of like, what would the Father Cups do when you feel that sort of like anger bubbling up about something, or extreme, it's not necessarily anger, it's any kind of extreme emotion that's like gone awry. So it could also be like, extreme jealousy or extreme sadness. Just, take a step back and kind of use his more objective eye. In your position of what to set aside this month, you drew the Two of Swords. The twos are often about decisions. This month, if you have a big decision, if you can, we don't always have the luxury to just take as much time as we'd like, but if you do have the time, don't make it this month. So, I know that's so broad, but we're talking big decisions. So like a career change. If you had applied for a job and you heard back, is it possible to give yourself some time to delay before answering? With job stuff, often you can't because it's just like moving on. But maybe there is. If you're moving, if you're making a decision about to move, can you put that decision off for another month? Can you, like, what big decision in your life do you have that maybe could benefit from a little bit more reflection before making it this month? Is it possible to do that? And again, as I've said in other videos, you don't want to take this reading so literally that you would be, maybe you're looking to buy a house and you found the perfect house, but it's, a big decision that's happening this month, and you're like, well, I can't sign for it this month. And then you lose the house. Obviously, I don't know that anyone takes me that seriously, which is good, and healthy. But it's always good when there's large life changes in store to take time to think about them. And so so the cards are really saying to set aside decision making if you can this month. Not all decision making, obviously, but particularly if you're feeling on the fence about something. And it doesn't hurt to ask. You can always ask for more time and someone can say, no, you don't have it, and then you don't have it. But you'll never know if you didn't ask, so you may as well ask if it is something that you could benefit from thinking about more. And then finally, in additional considerations, you drew the Hierophant. It's a great card. Another sign, drew the Hierophant reversed this month, but you have it upright. So in additional considerations, whatever this decision is, maybe it's kind of like, maybe these two are tied. Maybe this decision is about, you know, getting married or joining a particular place of worship as, like, you know, your church or mosque or wherever else you worship. Maybe it's about going back to school, right? Because all of those sort of larger socially constructed, what's the word I'm looking for? Institutions all fall under the Hierophant. Sort of like the social norm in sometimes a bit of a squarish way. It's usually doing things that are very safe. And I don't mean to say that to, like, crap on the Hierophant or anything. Although the things that fall under the Hierophant can bring people great joy. For some people, marriage can, you know, the institution of marriage can, or I don't know about the institution. I don't know if the institution brings anyone great joy, but marriage can bring people great joy. Institutions of higher learning can, you know, open up people's eyes and really enrich their life and bring them great joy. Religion and spirituality can bring people great joy. The institutions themselves is trickier, but maybe you're just being called to kind of like examine and decide about like how you want to move forward in one of these areas. And so this is a good month to think about it. Not necessarily make the move this month, but think about it. So that's your reading, Scorpio. I hope that you found it valuable and that you liked it. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. If you hit the bell icon next to subscribe, you will get notified as soon as I upload all of the videos each month, which I do before the first of every month, so that you can get a little bit of time with them and review what's to come for your month ahead. And yeah, that's it. I hope you found some value in this. I already said that. So thanks for joining me, Scorpio. I'm going to pause this and pan down so that you can look at the 3 cards together, because sometimes that's helpful visually. Okay. See you next month. So here you have your Father of Cups, 2 of Swords, and your Hierophant. Thanks for tuning in.